Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. This time, we are exploring the work of Carol Dweck.
Oh, great.
Yeah, her book Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. We're not going to be, like reading through the whole book chapter by chapter.
Right.
But we have got some pretty good summaries to hit the main points.
Okay.
So, have you ever wondered, like, if changing your thinking could actually change how successful you are in different areas of your life?
Yeah, I mean, obviously being positive helps, but
Yeah.
she goes so much deeper than that. She, connects your beliefs to your actions and, what you get out of things.
Exactly.
It's fascinating.
It's really profound when you really start thinking about it. So Dweck talks about these two mindsets, right?
Right.
The fixed mindset and the growth mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm sure we can all relate to at least one of these, if not both,
Yeah.
at different times in our lives. So let's start with fixed mindset.
Okay.
What does that even mean? To
Yeah.
have a fixed mindset.
Basically, it means you think your intelligence, talents, abilities, they're all pretty much set. Like, you're born with a certain amount, and that's all you get.
Oh, so you're dealt a hand of cards, and you can't improve it. So then challenges would seem scary.
Right. Why would you even try if you can't change anything?
Yeah. And I guess it would make you think that if you have to try hard, it must mean you aren't good at it.
Exactly. Like, if you have to put in a lot of effort, it must mean you're not naturally talented.
Yeah.
Dweck talks about John McEnroe, the tennis player.
Yeah, McEnroe. He was super talented,
Right.
but he would blame losing on anything but himself. Never tried to get better.
Yeah. Like, he was too worried about looking talented to actually try and improve.
So have you ever found yourself, avoiding things that are hard?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or blaming other stuff when things don't work out?
Totally. It's so easy to do without even thinking about it.
Yeah, it really is. And if you're enjoying this look into mindsets, remember to like and subscribe for more deep dives.
Yes, please do. We love making these.
So back to fixed mindsets. What are some other examples of this?
Well, she talks about Enron.
Enron,
Yeah.
the company.
Yeah. They were all about their star employees.
Oh, right.
And if you made a mistake, you were in trouble.
Really?
It killed innovation.
So, the whole company had a fixed mindset.
Yeah, pretty much. They wanted to look good more than actually move forward.
Wow. And it probably happens a lot in school, too, right?
Yeah, students might skip the harder classes because they don't want a bad grade.
Right. They want to look smart more than learn something new.
Exactly.
What a bad way to learn.
Yeah, it really limits you.
So before we get to the growth mindset, what do you think about fixed mindsets? Let us know in the comments. Have you seen this in your own life?
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Okay, now for the good stuff.
Yes, the growth mindset. This is where it gets interesting.
So growth mindset is like believing you can get smarter and more talented through hard work and by learning new things. Like your potential is just a starting point.
Yeah, it's not about where you start. It's about growing from there. So challenges, they become opportunities instead of threats.
Right. And if you have to work hard, it doesn't mean you aren't good at something.
Right. Effort is how you get better.
And if somebody gives you feedback or even criticism, you can use that to get better instead of getting upset about it.
Exactly. It can really change how you learn in school and just in life in general.
Absolutely. So imagine a student who's struggling with math,
Okay.
with a growth mindset.
Yeah.
They wouldn't just say, oh, I'm bad at math.
Right.
They would try different ways of learning and keep practicing until they got it.
Right. They would focus on getting better instead of just giving up.
Exactly. And that could apply to any skill, anything you want to learn how to do, because our brains can always keep growing and changing.
Exactly. She talks about Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he wasn't born a basketball superstar. He had
Right.
to work at it. But he had a growth mindset, and he just never stopped trying to improve.
Yeah, his talent was important.
Yeah,
But it was his hard work and belief in himself that made him great.
exactly. He's a great example of how you can achieve anything if you put in the work and believe in yourself.
If you find this inspiring, share this deep dive with someone you think it could help.
Yeah, spread the word.
All right, what other examples are there of a growth mindset in action?
Well, there's Thomas Edison. He tried 10,000 times to make the light bulb work.
Wow.
And he didn't see those as failures. He saw them as steps towards success. He had a growth mindset.
That's amazing. He just kept going.
Yeah, he really believed he could do it. And Steve Jobs, he's another great example.
With Apple.
Yeah, he got kicked out of his own company.
That's gotta hurt.
But he didn't let that stop him. He came back and made Apple even better than before.
It's amazing how these people succeeded in areas where you almost have to fail sometimes.
Right?
But their growth mindset let them keep going. They were able to adapt and learn from those tough times.
Exactly. And it's not just about individuals. Companies can have a growth mindset too. Oh, interesting. Like how?
Like Microsoft
Yeah.
under Satya Nadella.
Ah,
They totally changed their culture
uh-huh.
to embrace learning and working together. They moved away from that fear of failure.
So they made it okay to take risks and learn from mistakes.
Exactly. And it really paid off.
So it's about making it okay to try new things, even if you don't succeed right away.
Yeah, and celebrating what you learn along the way.
And that can apply to relationships too, right?
Absolutely. If couples view their challenges as chances to grow together, they'll be much better off.
So instead of thinking, oh, this relationship is too hard, we aren't right for each other,
Right.
they can use those challenges to understand each other better.
Exactly.
And before we move on, if you're liking this conversation, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications for more deep dives.
Yeah, we'll be back in a bit.
So we've been talking about fixed and growth mindsets, and now I want to see how these mindsets actually play out in our lives in different areas.
It's pretty amazing how much they affect us, yeah. So let's start with education, because we were all students at some point. Right?
Yeah, education's a great example. Imagine two students in a tough math class. One has a fixed mindset.
Okay.
Right away, they feel overwhelmed, like, I'm just not a math person, I'm going to fail.
Right, right.
They won't ask for help. They won't even try different ways to learn.
Yeah, because they're afraid to look dumb.
Exactly.
But the other student, the one with the growth mindset, they see that same challenge as a way to get better.
Right.
They might think, this is hard, but I'm going to work at it. I can learn from my mistakes.
Exactly. They focus on getting better, not on just getting a good grade.
Right, so it's not just about being smart. It's about wanting to learn, wanting to be challenged.
Yes. And believing you can get better.
That's a powerful message for anyone, not just students.
For sure. And in sports, it's huge.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Sports are all about challenge and pressure.
Think about an athlete before a big game. Fixed mindset. They're worried about proving themselves, about making mistakes. They might choke under pressure.
Right, they're so focused on not messing up.
Exactly.
But a growth mindset athlete,
Yeah.
they'd see it as a chance to see how far they've come, to learn something new no matter what happens.
Exactly. They'd use that pressure to push themselves further.
I bet that makes a huge difference in how well they perform.
Oh, totally. And Dweck talks about how important it is for coaches and teams to have a growth mindset, too.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, the whole team needs to be about effort, about learning, about getting better all the time, not just winning or losing. And in the business world, it's the same thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like in a company where everyone's terrified of making mistakes,
Yeah.
they probably don't come up with many new ideas.
Right. You don't want to take risks if you're scared of being wrong.
Yeah, it's like that saying, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down.
Exactly. But a company with a growth mindset, they encourage people to try new things, to experiment, even if they fail sometimes.
So it's about making it safe to fail, as long as you learn something from it.
Right. It's about the process of getting better, not just the end result.
And Dweck mentions Microsoft under Satya Nadella as a great example of this.
Yeah, they completely changed their culture, and it worked.
Wow. So it's about realizing that the most important thing is people and their ability to learn and grow.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about education, sports, business. What about relationships?
Oh, yeah, relationships too. Imagine a couple with fixed mindsets. They think love should be easy, no problems.
Right, like in the movies.
Exactly. They avoid hard conversations. They blame each other when things go wrong.
Because if it's hard, it must mean they're not right for each other.
Right. They give up easily instead of trying to work through things.
But a growth mindset couple would see those challenges as chances to grow closer. They could learn to communicate better, understand each other's needs.
Exactly.
They could use those tough times to build a stronger relationship.
Yeah, relationships take work, just like anything else worth having.
And you learn along the way. So
Right.
think about it. Is there an area of your life where maybe you have a fixed mindset? Maybe it's your career, your relationships, learning something new. Where do you think you could benefit from a growth mindset? And we'll be back in a little bit to talk about how to actually develop that growth mindset.
Okay, so we've covered a lot about fixed and growth mindsets, and now I'm really curious about how we can actually switch to a growth mindset if we need to.
Yeah, that's the big question, right? But the good news is you can totally change, even if you've always had a fixed mindset. It's not magic, it just takes work and being aware of your thoughts.
Okay, but how do we even start? It seems like a really big change.
The first thing is to just notice those fixed mindset thoughts. Like when something's hard and that voice in your head says, I'm not good at this.
Oh, yeah, that voice.
That's the fixed mindset talking.
Okay, so we got to catch ourselves thinking those things. But what do we do then? How do we actually change those thoughts? You got to argue back. Instead of saying, I'm not good at this, tell yourself, I'm learning and I'm going to keep practicing.
So it's like replacing the negative thought with a more positive one that's focused on growth.
Exactly. And don't just change your thoughts, change your actions too. Don't avoid challenges, go after them.
That makes sense. If you never leave your comfort zone, you'll never get any better.
Think about something you usually avoid because it's hard. Maybe it's learning a new skill or taking on a bigger project at work.
Yeah, I can think of a few.
Go for it, even if it's a little scary at first.
So we have to start seeing challenges as a good thing, as opportunities to learn.
Exactly. Instead of thinking, I might fail, think, I might learn something awesome.
That's a really different way of looking at things. And then there's how we deal with failure, right?
Yeah, that's a tough one. We're so programmed to avoid failure at all costs.
Yeah, it feels bad.
But what if you looked at it as feedback, as part of getting better?
I never thought about it that way.
Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? Even the worst experiences can teach you something.
And we should be asking for feedback from other people too, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's not always good.
Totally. Feedback is a gift. It helps you see things you might miss on your own.
So all this sounds great, but if a growth mindset is so good for us, why do so many people still have fixed mindsets?
That's a good question. I think part of it is that fixed mindsets feel safe, at least at first.
Oh, like it's easier to stay in your comfort zone.
Exactly. You know what you're good at, so you stick with that. You don't risk looking bad.
But you also don't really grow that way.
Right. And our culture doesn't always help either. There's so much emphasis on being naturally talented or gifted.
Like we're supposed to be born good at things.
Yeah, and if you're not, then what? But here's the thing. A fixed mindset doesn't actually prevent you from failing. It just makes you more afraid of it.
And more likely to give up when it does happen.
Exactly. But a growth mindset gives you the tools to deal with failure. You learn to be resilient, to keep going, even when it's tough.
Because you believe you can always get better.
Right. It's not about being perfect. It's about the journey of learning and growing. And that's how you reach your full potential.
This has been so interesting, and I really hope everyone listening feels inspired to start working on their own growth mindset.
Me too.
We've just scratched the surface of this topic, so definitely check out Carol Dweck's book, Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, to learn more.
Yeah, it's a great read.
And remember, it's never too late to change your mindset. No matter who you are or what you've done, you can always choose to believe in your ability to grow and learn.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Let us know what you think about the power of mindset down in the comments. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.